Hello, everyone. This is the fifth class for the course of social psychological perspectives on health. In the fourth class, we studied how social status affects health. In particular, we studied how social status in the monkeys and in a group of monkeys affect their health. And then we also learned that usually high status individuals experience better health when the predictability and the control of the social status is low. High social status tends to experience lower health. And this is because they are more concerned about the their status, or also their stability of their status. And today we will learn how it may be true or not true with human participants. Okay, so human biological models. The biopsychosocial model of challenge and threat. So in short, this model is called BPMCT. People are more likely to experience threat when the demands of the situation they face outweigh the resources that they bring to the situation to deal with these demands. Okay, so it's kind of long sentence, so maybe you can think of a situation like this. Giving a presentation is more threatening when the audience is tough instead of friendly or encouraging. So this is defining a demanding situation, and time for preparation is limited. And this is defining the limited resources. So whether audience is tough or friendly, this this tells what kind of situation you are facing. And when the audience is tough, that means that the situation, the demand of situation is high. And then even if the demand of situation is high, if you have enough time to prepare for the presentation, maybe you will not see the situation as threatening. But when the demand of the situation is high, and also you do not have enough resource or time for preparation, then you will see the situation as threatening. But when you see that the demand of the situation is low, or when you have enough resources to prepare for the situation, then you see the same situation as a challenge. So in a contrasting situation, the person feels challenged instead of the threatened. So this situation tells, not really, sorry. So when an audience is tough and the time for preparation is limited, people would see the situation as threatening. When people have, when the audience is friendly and encouraging, and you have enough time for preparation, then you see the situation as a challenge, or you feel challenged instead of threatened. And as you might expect, threat is related to higher blood pressure and slower heart rate recovery, meaning that you are experiencing high stress, and such stress will have a negative impact on your health. Okay, so this is a kind of model, so let's see a study that support this model. So status effects in the minimal group paradigm studied, examined by Schippers maybe, and Elmas 2005. So in this study, they basically divided people into two groups using arbitrary factors or attributes. This is a typical paradigm used for minimal group study, right? And then when they introduce the manipulations, they measure blood pressure. So the blood pressure is a dependent variable, and the independent variable is when they introduce the status or when they introduce the how the status is defined or determined. So in the first, so they measured blood pressure twice. The first time they measured was when they were told about their statuses. So in this time, lower status group had higher blood pressure, meaning that lower status group, although they were simply divided into low and high status groups, they already are experiencing more stress, and which may result in poor health. And the second time when they measured blood pressure was when they were told that they were going to engage in tasks that define their status. And in this time, high status group people had higher blood pressure. And this can be interpreted as that unstable status of high status group and tasks being perceived as challenge for lower status group instead of threat. So high status group people learn that while their high status is not very stable, instead their status is unstable, and this will cause them to experience more stress. And then maybe for low status group, they found that, okay, there is an opportunity to change their status, change our status. So they may feel energized, and then maybe they felt that this is challenge, not a threat. And so their blood pressure was relatively kept low. So which in turn, their health was also kept better. And this figure kind of indicates the procedure of the experiment. So when they first experiment manipulated their status, and this red, hold on, here, this red arrow indicates when they measured blood pressure. And then those high high status group and then low status group, and blood pressure is higher for lower status group than higher status group. And I think it is really interesting that when they simply introduce the tasks, when they let the participants know that there are actually tasks that change their status, this task introduction increase the blood pressure of high status group people. So when they were told that there are tasks, high status group actually experienced higher blood pressure than low status group people. I think this is very interesting because in the first blood pressure measurement, they were already in the relationship, intergroup relationship, where high status group and low status group exist. But when the tasks were introduced, high status group people are still in the high status, but they anticipate what would happen in their relationship with low status group. And this anticipation or expectation of losing their status already affected their health condition. I think this is pretty interesting. So status health relationship is influenced by social context and experienced and anticipated intergroup relations, meaning that predictability of environment, so whether they would have high status for long or whether such social status is unstable, and also control, whether they have enough control to keep their status or not, and whether they have social support matter for health. And in this particular study, as this was a minimal group study, they did not examine the impact of social support. But in this study, they successfully manipulated the effects of status and also the predictability and control of the environment. Okay. And next, sociological and epidemiological models. So as we have learned that there is a health gradient, meaning that higher status people tend to have better health conditions. I mean, better health. And then, but as you can easily expect, that health gradient may reflect not only social status, but different lifestyles, cultures, knowledge, or family structures. So high status people and low status people are not only different in terms of their social status, but also they have different lifestyles, cultures, knowledge, and family structures that may affect their health. So this is saying that the cause of health gradient is unclear. So to tackle this problem, there is a study with public servants conducted by Marmot, I guess. And they showed that, I mean, he showed that well, I'm not sure this is he or she. So this study showed that the higher their employment grade, the longer employees lived. So in the among the public servants, some people may have higher employment grade, and some people have lower employment grade. And then those with higher employment grade lived longer than the lower employment grade. And there is actually a linear trend, meaning that every increment of employment grade, so every step of employment grade, they live longer. This is not just a comparison between the highest employment grade and the lowest employment grade, but there is a linear trend that every step of the employment grade, they lived longer. And in the important feature of this study is that these participants were all employed as public servants, and then they were surely not poor, and they had comparable social background. So only differences among these participants was their employment grade. Of course, there is some salary difference, but still, it doesn't mean that they are poor. They had enough money to cover their life expenses, but still, they found a linear trend between employment grade and the length they lived. Furthermore, even after controlling for health behaviors such as obesity, smoking, reduced leisure time, physical activity, illness, and blood pressure, a health gradient was still observed. This means that even assuming statistically that each participant had same level of obesity and they smoke same numbers, they smoke a same number of cigarettes, and they have same leisure time, and they do the physical activity similarly, they have no or same illness, and they have blood pressure. Even assuming statistically these measures equal, still they found that association between social status, or in this case, employment grade, and their health or the length they lived. So it means that these behavioral measures were not the cause, were not responsible for the association between social status and health. So, of course, you want to ask, why is there a health gradient? And Marmot suggested that low predictability and control was associated with low status people. And then you must be familiar with these variables. Yes, this is the same explanation for animal studies reviewed in the last class. And then, as we have seen with animal studies, yes, low status group have low predictability and low control, but we also kind of study that social capital can help them to reduce the impact of such low predictability and low control. And in the human studies, definition of social capital is networks together with shared norms, values, and understanding that facilitate cooperation within or among groups. And the way they measure the social capital is the trust among people they connect, and also the number of ties they have. So the bigger the social network is, and the higher the trust they have towards people in the social network, in their social networks, then they have higher social capital. You can say that they have more social capital. So social capital can be higher when individuals trust each other and are tied and have frequent interactions. And this social capital can be divided into bonding and bridging capital. And then I will talk more about what bonding capital and bridging capital in the next video. Okay, thank you.